There's a formula to it. A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. So today we're going to be doing a little bit different of a video here. I'm actually going to be starting a new series here on my channel, something that I've been thinking about, for a little while, and actually got the idea, based off watching this scene that we're going to talk about. So the idea for the series is going to be called My Favorite Movie Scenes, and basically what it is, it's, basically what the title says right there. It's going to be me talking about some of my favorite movie scenes of all time. Some of them, I might do like a series, I think, that focuses particularly on horror movies, where it's going to be my favorite horror movie scenes, like this one is going to be. But then I might do some that are just like, every other kind of genre as far as like movies and stuff like that goes. So, and the idea, I think, it came to me because, this scene in particular that we're going to talk about, the video store scene in Scream, I just love this scene so much. And even though I just did a review for the movie on my channel, not too long ago, this gives me a chance to go back and talk about that movie again, because even though I did a review, now I can kind of focus particularly on this one scene and, why it really stands out. And for these videos, basically how I'm going to break it down is I'm going to talk, to kind of describe, what the scene is, and then we're going to go why I love it and why it stands out. So that's basically how the video is going to go. And without further ado, let's go ahead and talk some Scream, baby.
It's alive! In the name of God! I know it!
Watch it, jerk.
So as I said, the video, or the scene that we're talking about today, is going to be the video store scene in Scream. One of my favorite scenes of all time. Every time I watch this movie, it's just like that scene just really, really draws me in. So I wanted to talk about it. And basically, if you guys have never seen, the movie Scream, which I'm sure a lot of you guys probably have at this point, the scene, you see Randy, he's working at the video store, and, Stu ends up coming in and asking him if he's coming to his party tonight. Randy, he ends up seeing Billy in the store as they're like talking, and he ends up making a comment about it being, a poor choice to him being like the prime suspect in the murders that have happened in Woodsboro. So then, Randy and Stu, they go back and forth on why they think and don't think Billy is the murderer. And then, eventually Billy, he overhears them talking, and he ends up, confronting Randy and having, Matthew Lillard, by his side, and kind of going back and forth as far as that goes. And then finally he walks away, and Stu's Randy, he says, you don't think that, that's a killer? So yeah, that's basically the scene. Not exactly going at, beat by beat, but that's, the, kind of the description of the scene. And now we'll get into, why I love it. So I think, first and foremost, why I really love this scene so much is because just the fact it takes place in a video store. Man, I miss these stores so much because, growing up, I was born, 1990, so growing up, I really kind of grew up almost in these video stores, especially for me, it was Blockbuster. I used to go there all the time with my parents. A lot of times, my dad would take me, and I would, it's really how I kind of got into horror, because I would go there and I started off with the Universal black and white monster movies, and I used to rent those things all the time. So the fact that, this scene, it even opens up and you see, Frankenstein playing before we see Randy coming around the corner on the video cart. I think that might be even why I have kind of more of a connection to this scene, because of, that particular movies. I loved those things growing up, and just the video store, it was just such an amazing place to be. And if you're born in the 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever, and in the video stores, what those are, I think you'll definitely understand where I'm coming from as far as that goes. Also, I mean, I like both of, actually, technically all three of the characters that are in the scene. I really like them all. But Randy was definitely one of my favorite characters, I think, in the film of Scream. And the reason why is because of, he was he was basically, he was that movie guy. He was me to a degree. It's like if I was, you know, that age at that time. You know, he's talking all the movies, he's working at the video store. I feel like, you know, working at the video store would have been a really fun job as like, you know, like a teenager or something like that. So too bad I never got the chance to do that. But I just feel like his character really resonated with me. But I mean, you also have Stu and you have Billy, and both of those characters are great as well. So those couple things are really kind of tying to why I love this scene so much. Now we'll go into why does it stand out? And it kind of ties a little bit into what I was just talking about. So you have, you know, the main two characters that kind of the scene like focuses on with, you have Randy and then you have Stu, played by Jamie Kennedy and then Matthew Lillard. And I think that, you know, just in the film overall, these guys gave fantastic performances. And just like in the scene in particular, you know, the way they're just able to bounce lines off each other and just like have that banter was, you know, amazing. And there are some classic lines in this particular scene. Some of the lines are like, "There was always some stupid bullshit reason to kill your girlfriend." And then you have like the lady in the background. I remember in the scene, you just like see her and she like looks over like at Randy and kind of like shakes her head and walks off. Just like those like little details I really appreciate about this scene. And then you have the one that I started off this video with where there's a formula to it, a very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect. You know, that line is obviously that's a classic right there, and everyone knows that from Scream.
There's always some stupid bullshit reason to kill your girlfriend.
And again, I think just them being in a video store, it was just such an iconic, you know, thing, especially when at the time, like when this, you know, this movie came out. It came out in the middle of the 90s. Video stores were really, you know, the place to be, especially on like the weekends and stuff like that. You know, you would go to the video store with like your friends, family, or whatever, rent, you know, a bunch of movies and like go watch them that night or like over the weekend or whatever. And it was just such a, you know, just such a fun time. And in there, you know, in this scene too, you get like the different people. Like the one lady, she's talking about, you know, what's that movie with like E.T.'s mother in it, and like, you know, like talking about like the howling and stuff like that. So this scene, like it's just so funny. Like every time like I watch it, it's like I sometimes, you know, I'll pause it and like rewind it and just like watch it again. I've looked it up like on YouTube like myself like a number of times, and I mean I've seen the movie Scream, but I just absolutely adore the scene for those couple reasons. And you know, I want to hear what your guys, you know, think of like this particular scene. You know, definitely let me know down below in the comments. And also I want to hear what is your favorite, you know, scene from the movie Scream, or any just like horror movie in general. Let me know down below in the comments. And if you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button as well as the bell button next to it. That way you get notifications for all my new videos. Like I said, this is going to be a new series I think I want to start doing on my channel, just to give myself, you know, a chance to talk a little bit more in depth about, you know, very particular like scenes in a movie that, you know, even though I've already reviewed them, I can talk about these movies again. So I think it's going to be really fun. I hope you guys appreciate it. You know, definitely if you like this video, please give a thumbs up, as it helps with the YouTube algorithm, supports the channel, and I really appreciate it, guys. So thank you again for checking this out. And as always, guys, please make sure to check back for Pop Culture with Pat. I'll be right back.
That's good. Millennium. Good kid. Millennium. Good word, my man.
Are you telling me that's not a killer?